Ahsoka was great, so far the toys have been great, but let's wish for some more anyway. Hello there, welcome back to the channel. I am Grand Moff Tony. Now, Ahsoka was an absolutely fantastic series. If you've watched my review, you know that. Of course, I had my issues, as I always do, with the 8-episode structure and with the decision to write the finale, as though the second season has already been greenlit, which, according to my sources, it still hasn't been. But on the whole, I was absolutely thrilled. And in terms of content, I could not have been happier. I got everything that I wanted out of this series, so I'm very, very happy. And so far, the Black Series offerings for Ahsoka have been fantastic, with the return of the Corvus Ahsoka body, which, as anyone who's familiar with my channel knows, is, as far as I'm concerned, the best figure in the entire line. Not to mention updated live-action realizations of characters that I have loved from animation for years. So yeah, so far it's been an absolutely fantastic line. With that said though, with those great figures out there, I would still like to pitch a few ideas for some more figures I would like to see come to the line from this show. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to sit here and talk about the top 5 characters from the Ahsoka series that I need to see come to the Black Series. Now we're going to be following my usual rules as we always do. No HasLabs, no vehicles, nothing like that, just standard releases and deluxe releases. And with that in mind, a lot of characters from the Ahsoka series are already in the Black Series line somewhere, whether it's an old animated version of them or whether it's just a really old figure that, might need an update. And so I've done my best to kind of prioritize the list in terms of new characters coming to the line, even though there are a few picks on this list and in the honorable mentions that are already in the Black Series. There are just a few tweaks I would like to make, like updated appearances, for instance. So with all that said, let's get into some honorable mentions. Coming in first for an honorable mention, as soon as she was in the series, you should have known I was going to put her on the list. It's Chancellor Mon Mothma. I am an incredibly big advocate of Mon Mothma. I absolutely love this character. I'm so pleased that she's finally getting the attention she deserves, and while it was fun to examine all the failings of the New Republic, one thing that just fulfilled everything I could have wanted was seeing Mon Mothma as Chancellor, seeing her trying to do her best to keep the galaxy running, surrounded by corrupt politicians and ex-Imperials and people who just don't want to listen. I think Genevieve O'Reilly did a great job. They've already done a fantastic Mon Mothma figure from the Andor series. I would just love to get Chancellor Mon Mothma in her blue regal robes. I think that would just be absolutely brilliant. Another honorable mention that is already in the line and is already in the Ahsoka line as well is Ezra Bridger, but specifically I would like to get Space Moses Ezra into the line. I loved his look when Sabine found him, and if we could get his new cross between his lightsaber and Kanan's lightsaber into the Black Series, I will be even happier. He has such a unique look to him, that kind of roughed up vagabond appearance, and of course you gotta get that beard. You have to get that beard, and he looked so much like his dad. I loved it. So Ezra is an easy honorable mention. And while we're at it, my final honorable mention is the ultimate pantomime boo-hiss bad guy of the series. It's Hamato Ziono. I just want to have a little plastic realization of this character so that I can say mean things to it on my shelf. What a slimy, horrible person this guy is. I never really liked him because I always kind of liked Kaz from Resistance, so his dad being such a jerk always rubbed me up the wrong way, but my god, did they really drive that home in this series. What an absolute jerk. My single greatest regret in all of Star Wars canon is that this guy wasn't on Hosnian Prime when it blew up. That was convenient, wasn't it? Hamato Ziono is an obvious pick for an honorable mention, but with those out of the way, let's get into the list itself. Coming in at number 5, I wanted to get the obvious pick out of the way first with Ahsoka the White. Now, this was a great character transition for the show. I absolutely loved seeing her go from that grey and doubting and not really knowing where she fits in the universe kind of Ahsoka into the new, determined and resolute Ahsoka, and those fantastic white robes. They will look absolutely brilliant in Black Series form. Now, I put her this low on the list because this could be 100% reuse. It absolutely could be. You could just repack that exceptional Mandalorian Ahsoka one more time and just give her an updated colored look. I've never really been one of those, hey, where's my Ahsoka robe in this figure? But this one, I would have to have the robe. You've got to put the robe in because it's part of the look. It's part of this transition into this kind of Gandalf the White figure that she becomes in the series. Hey, if we could get that awesome staff that she had at the end of Rebels, I'll be even happier. But I can respect if we can't get it. Yeah, this is a straight repaint. I don't see any issue in asking for this, to be honest, because they could easily do it. Hell, they've already done it once. They've given us the Ahsoka series Ahsoka, which I still don't have because I haven't quite got up the energy to go and get it. I don't know if it's different enough from the Mandalorian version. This one would be different enough. I would go out and buy it day one. No questions asked. But yeah, it has to have the lightsabers, it has to have the robe. Ahsoka the White comes in at number 5.
Don't defeat me.
Perhaps. I don't have to.
Coming in at number 4 and last of my already in the line reuse picks is Grand Admiral Thrawn. Did you really think I wasn't going to put my favourite character in all of Star Wars on this list? Really? It's obvious what I want out of this one. I want an updated Thrawn figure with a live-action Lars Mikkelsen head, and yeah, I kind of want an update to the body because he looks very different. He's kind of gotten a little stockier in his exile. You know, his robes are a little tattered, and I think it's definitely someone's deliberate artistic choice to make him look like that, because Lars Mikkelsen himself is a pencil. So the decision to make Thrawn look like that is obviously intentional, and I absolutely loved it. It gave him such a streak of Napoleon in his look, and it made me so pleased. But yeah, the real deal here for me is the head sculpt. I absolutely loved how Lars looked in all that great Thrawn makeup, and I want to get that on my shelf. I love the original Grand Admiral Thrawn figure from the Red Line. I love the Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Archive line. I even love the exclusive Grand Admiral Thrawn from Comic-Con with all those cool accessories that I'm never gonna own because it costs so much money. I love all of these figures, and I would love this one even more. He just looks fantastic. With that said, Thrawn has always been kind of an accessory light figure. He usually just comes with a blaster that you never have him holding because you always pose him with his hands behind his back. But this would be a great opportunity to include some Ahsoka specific accessories in the box. Maybe the data pad that he got all his information on Ahsoka from. Maybe a holographic display of his Star Destroyer, the Chimera, like they're putting in the Hot Toys, which I'm really fighting the urge to go out and buy because it looks so fantastic. I don't need a whole lot of motivation to go out and buy another Grand Admiral Thrawn figure because he is my favourite character in all of fiction, let alone Star Wars. So I don't need too much of a push. But if you really want to sell it to me, then yeah, stick some Ahsoka specific accessories in there, give me an absolutely killer live action face sculpt, and yeah, tatter up the body a bit, make him look a little stocky and a little more regal, and yeah, I'll go for it. Easy peasy. Grand Admiral Thrawn is an easy pick for number 4.
I regret we haven't met face to face, and perhaps now we never... Still, I know you. Perhaps this is where a Ronin such as you belongs.
Coming in at number 3 is Thrawn's right-hand man, Captain Enoch. Now, we didn't learn a whole lot about this guy in the series, but what we did learn is that he looks absolutely killer, and that is the only motivation I need to want a Black Series figure of him. We're seriously going by, like, Boba Fett, Captain Phasma, rule of looking cool and standing in the background rules here. Enoch has such a unique design, and with all the little streaks of mythology that we had cast through this series, that gold face on his helmet really gives him a kind of angelic look, and I'm totally here for it. I can picture this being a really great figure. Use that great 2020 Stormtrooper body, give me an absolutely brilliant helmet on there, and yeah, I kind of want to see weathering. One of the reasons that I didn't include the Night Troopers or even the Zombie Night Troopers on this list is because the Black Series has kind of gone in a weird direction when it comes to weathering and dirt and muck on armor. We are not in the days of the Mimban Stormtrooper or the original Sand Trooper anymore. The days of really great weathering are very much sadly behind us. So I really want to see kind of a return to those old techniques to really capture the grime and the beaten up look on Captain Enoch. And another thing I would really like them to sell me on would be the face, capturing that golden likeness on his helmet. We've seen a lot of characters in the Black Series that are supposed to be metallic or golden, and it doesn't always quite land the way we want it to. So this would be one of those instances where I'm like, hey, you know that paint that you use for those carbonized figures? I borrowed just a splash of that for this Captain Enoch head. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Just go for it. Put it on there and I will buy it. To be honest, he's probably only really going to come with a blaster, but if I had to think of something, then maybe one of those weird Dathomiri coffin casket things that they were moving onto the Chimera. That would definitely relegate it to a deluxe, though. So I don't know. Maybe a twin pack? Like, we've had some recent reveals of some great twin packs that are coming to the Black Series, so I feel a little more confident in asking for them. Maybe Captain Enoch with a Night Trooper, something like that? I don't know. But I think it could be an absolutely great figure. Even if it's just him in a box with a blaster, I'll go and buy it. Captain Enoch comes in at number 3.
Nomads wander this wasteland and prey upon each other for survival. Die well.
At number 2, we have Jacen Syndulla. What an absolute surprise standout star of the series. I absolutely loved this kid. I've been wanting to find out, who he is, what kind of person he is ever since he pops up at the end of Rebels, because every time Hera has shown up in canon since Rebels, Jacen has been nowhere to be seen, so we don't really know anything about this kid, and now it kind of feels like maybe they've been deliberately staying away from him. Maybe they've had a plan for him from the beginning. Maybe it's like Lucas with the Clone Wars back in the EU days, like, yeah, you can write whatever you like, just don't touch the Clone Wars. I've got plans for that. Maybe that's what they're doing with Jacen, but this would be an easy pick for a Black Series figure because they are currently knocking out so many great child-sized figures that I feel very, very confident in asking for this one. It started with Omega, now we've got Season 2 Omega, and now Kid Anakin from The Phantom Menace is coming, so yeah, I would like to get Jacen Syndulla into the line. I think it would be brilliant. I absolutely loved his look. It's kind of a mishmash between his mum and his dad, to be honest. He's got that great Kanan armor on his shoulder, and I love the look they went for the face. He just looks great, to be honest. It's definitely a marked up improvement from the very strange direction they went in the Rebels finale. I think this would be great. I think getting Spectre 7 into the line would be so cool. I was surprised when they just re-released Chopper again, because that would have been an absolutely ideal 2-pack, I think. Jacen and Chopper would have pretty much made up the value of a single figure. Once again, I don't need a ton in the box with this one because he doesn't really interact with much in the series. Like maybe, I don't know, the tracker that his mum was using that didn't come with her in the box, or I don't know, just something to make him stand out on the shelf. Ooh, you know what would be good? This would be a great opportunity to bring in Kanan's face mask. Now, I know it's not in the series, and I know it's not something that actually shows up in the show or that Jacen has any interaction with, but what a great opportunity to bring that accessory in. I'm just spitballing ideas here because I feel like child figures need to come with something significant in the box. And, Omega has done that, and the Kid Anakin figure has done that too, because they got the rucksack exactly like I asked for back in my very, very first wishlist video. Just saying. If you're watching, Hasbro, thank you very much. I don't know, I just feel like this would be an absolutely great figure. It would go really, really well on the shelf with the other Spectres. I would be very happy with it. Jacen Syndulla is an easy pick for number 2.
Don't you hear it? The lightsabers.
But the number 1 character from Ahsoka that I would like to get in the Black Series, he's cheating again. It's the Great Mothers. Talk about something that I never thought I was going to see in this series. Freaking Night Sisters. Like, original Night Sisters. These guys looked fantastic. I was so happy with their appearance. There was such a supernatural tinge to them that really made me remember Mother Talzin and how creepy she always was. And it raises so many questions about Talzin. Like, was she one of the 3 originally? Has she been replaced? Was she maybe the leader? I don't know. Is she still out there somewhere? I don't know. Maybe. I always kind of felt like her death in Clone Wars was kind of, I don't know, over the top. And I know they technically killed her off in the comics because Grievous got the final blow on her, but did he? Because I feel like she's died several times now. But in any case, the 3 Great Mothers from Ahsoka were so cool. I love the look on their faces, that little jump scare when it cuts from Ahsoka in the bone field back to the Great Mother. It scares the living daylights out of me every time. That's an effective jump jump scare. And I would 1000% buy a 3-pack of these guys. If you want to pack the 3 of them together, I would be all over it. You could charge whatever you wanted and I would buy it. No questions asked. Equally, I would go out hunting for 3 unique Great Mother figures that were all in the line. So you got to track down all 3. Just whatever you do. Don't make one of them mainline, one of them Target exclusive, and one of them Walmart exclusive, because I'd never get the Walmart one. I just loved how vibrant and red the colors were in their design. They just looked so cool, and it went so well with the green flame magic. It just looked perfect, and I want them on my shelf. I want them now. As well as just being an absolutely killer pick for the Black Series, this would be a great opportunity to fill in some blanks in terms of accessories, because I mentioned before that it felt like there were some accessories that could have come with certain characters, but maybe they felt kind of spoilery. Well, the show's out now. Spoil away. Stick the map in the box. Stick one of those altars with the flames in the box. Hell, go all the way and stick the Blade of Talzin in the box. I would love that. And once again, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm sitting here and I'm saying it has to be soft goods. It just has to be. Because part of the Great Mother's visual appeal is how ethereal and flowing they look. The way those robes just cascade behind them as they walk. I absolutely love it and I need to get it on my shelf. So yeah, whether it's a 3-pack, whether they're individual and I gotta go out and find them all, stick some great stuff in the box for me. Oh, that could be something good. If they are individual, then each one could come with one of the accessories. Like maybe one's got the blade, and one's got the map, and one's got the altar. Maybe we could return to my build a diorama idea that I have flogged half to death. But yeah, little bits of the altar in each box that come together to make a great diorama piece. I would go for it. I'm asking for these figures, I will buy them. The Great Mothers are the #1 pick from Ahsoka that I need to see come to this line.
It reeks of Jedi.
It is dangerous. It will wait in solitude.
So there you have it. Those were 5-ish characters from the Ahsoka series that I need to see come to the Black Series, so let me pass this subject off to you. What are some characters from this series that you'd like to get into the line? What are some obvious ones that I missed? Carson Teva, he'd be great, let's get him in the Black Series. Another opportunity to get Ryder Rosati in the line with a live-action head sculpt. I'm just saying. Yeah, let me know down below and I will respond to each and every one of you. I always love hearing your ideas and your feedback. It's always a good time. So yes, as was previously said on the channel, I messed up last week when I said that Resistance was coming this week, but the special top 10 Resistance wishlist is going to be the next episode that we cover. We're going to come back eventually and do Star Wars Squadrons, I think, because it is technically a canon game. I'm having a real hard time picking things that I want from it. Like, we've got Hera, because that's basically how she looks in Ahsoka. There are a couple of other ones, but I didn't really get on with the game, so I've really got to get to grips with the story and the characters to really decide who I want to get a figure of. In the meantime, however, I've been Grand Moff Tony. Those were my top 5 Black Series wishlist picks for Star Wars Ahsoka. You may subscribe when ready. Ooh, wow. What? What? Talking absolute bollocks.